Hey parents and students, my name is Glenn Arnold. I am one of the chemistry instructors at the LNN STEM Academy, and I just want to welcome you all to Taking Chemistry here at STEM. This year I'm teaching Honors Chemistry 1 and AP and Honors Chemistry 2, as well as a class called Intro to Organic Biochemistry and a section of Science Research, which would in past years have been our STEM class or Design Thinking class. A couple of things about me. This is my 16th year teaching science. And I've been in Knox County for 9 years. I've taught most high school sciences, but chemistry is really my thing. I worked before I came into teaching. I worked in a clinical medical lab for 5 years, and I've also worked in an industrial chemical plant for a year or two as a safety officer. And so I've got some outside experience, but really I love teaching. That's the best possible profession for me, and so I just want to have this short video to sort of introduce you to a few things that go on in class, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But first, something new to me this year is that I've got an intern with me this year, Miss Erica Allen, and so I'm going to give her a chance to introduce herself, and then we'll jump into the classes and what's different about each one of those.
Hi, my name is Erica Allen. I'm going to be working with Mr. Arnold this year to teach the 3 sections of Chem 1, 1 section of AP Chemistry, and the Organic Chemistry. I just got my bachelor's degree from the University of Tennessee in geology, and I'm working on my master's degree to get a master's of secondary science education to be a chemistry teacher. So I just wanted to introduce myself, let you know that at some point in the year I'm going to be taking over some of the classes with Mr. Arnold's assistants, and just wanted to say hello, and if you have any questions, feel free to always contact me or Mr. Arnold. Thanks.
All right, thanks, and welcome back, parents. I'm going to just sort of briefly go over each of the 3 chemistry classes. So if your child is, say, taking AP Chemistry and you just want to jump to that part, that's perfectly fine. So for our Honors Chem 1 kids, and this is pretty much freshmen and sophomores, and I know a lot of you all are new to the school as all. So I run a fully flipped classroom. There's a video at the bottom of the Canvas page that you're probably viewing this video on that will fully explain that. But basically the idea is that students are going to watch videos instead of listening to lectures in class. And then in class, we're going to do stuff. We're going to do activities and projects and work problems together in groups and whiteboard and all those sorts of things. And so to do that, they'll need to make sure that they watch the videos outside of class time. Now that might mean on Mastery Mondays or something like that, but they need to have them watched when they get into class. As far as grading, I have a pretty unique grading system, at least for a lot of teachers in Knox County. I do what's called standard-based grading, which means that I only grade what the student knows. I don't really give any participation grades. I don't grade homework for completion or anything like that. I essentially grade students on what they know. If they know the standard, then they know what I need them to know, and then they get a good grade. So basically what that means is that the bulk of their grades is just assessments. They'll probably take an assessment at least once a week, probably twice on most weeks, almost every class day in our sort of shortened year this year. The good news, though, is that retakes are always possible, so that they get 2 retake chances on every assessment. They won't need all of those, but I just want you to know, parents and students, that option is out there in case it's needed. And for retakes, or if they need help or tutoring or anything like that, I also want you all to know that I'm in the chemistry lab, D116, almost every morning. And if I'm not, I usually email the students to let them know that I'm not there, so they can always come in the mornings. I also have 2 science lab classes, first and third block on Mastery Mondays, so the students can usually be able to come over then and I can help them out. And really the swiftest case for a student or a parent is just to email me. My email address is there, and I'll get right back to you and help you out as much as possible. All right. So for AP Chemistry, Honors Chemistry 2, a couple of quick things. You'll note that there's like a slash there. This is 2 credits. There's 2, what would normally be 2 separate classes in a standard block high school. You would have Honors Chemistry 2 and then in the fall, and then AP Chemistry in the spring. Since we're a little bit different here in the way we run our schedule, these classes are just together. Okay, they're the same class. It's the same students in each class. And so really for me, there's no distinction. I'll just call it AP Chemistry most of the time, because that's the goal that we're looking for, is to take that AP test at the end of the year. So this class isn't flipped. I do occasionally put some videos up, but I spend a lot more time in class lecturing, because the material is a little bit higher level, and I want to be there when the students do have questions as they're taking notes to help them out a little bit. It's harder material. I mean, it's AP, and advanced placement means that it's a college level class. The homework is harder. The tests are very hard. They're AP level tests, and the labs are much more intricate. And so all of it is just a whole lot harder. College level is what we're aiming for. So the grading for that class is a lot different than it would be for students that had me in Honors Chemistry 1 last year or the year before. The main sources of points in this class are going to be tests and lab reports, and then there are daily quizzes. I call them daily quizzes, but really they're probably maybe 2-3 a week. And those are the main sources of grades. As far as the percentages, I don't have any exact percentages, but typically tests run to be about 60%, maybe 70%. Labs make up the bulk of that, and daily quizzes just make up a little bit more. Homework does count, but it counts in the test grades. And your students will know about that and sort of fill you in on that. The ultimate goal in AP Chemistry is that I want students to be really good at chemistry when they get to college. Most of the students that are taking AP Chem, they're planning on going into medicine or science or engineering or something like that, and chemistry is a tough class in college. I want to make sure that they're prepared for that, and so that's my aim. There's a secondary aim, which is, hey, if you pass the AP test in May, then you don't have to take your first 2 semesters of college chem. Obviously, thereby saving a lot of money and maybe accelerating you and helping you to maybe take some electives you want to take, or just to jump into the next course in that sequence. Again, there aren't really retakes per se in AP Chem, but tutoring and help, students definitely need that, and I'm there almost every morning to help out with lab reports or anything like that. And then I've got 2 science mastery labs in as well on first and third block on Mastery Mondays. Intro to Organic Biochem. This is my class. That's my baby. We're the only ones that teach it, as far as I know, in the state of Tennessee, but I definitely know in Knox County up until this year at least. And so this class is organic chemistry is the chemistry of carbon, biochemistry, obviously chemistry of life. Why this class is important is because, typically speaking, for students that are going to go into science fields or chemical engineering or into some of the medical fields, organic class tends to be the weed out class. That class is really hard, and it really it causes a lot of students to not make it. I know I had a student about 15 years ago that wanted to major in chemistry, got to organic chem at UT and decided this is too much, and essentially changed his major. And he's a great kid, and I know him today, and he has an awesome career, but it kept him away from chemistry. And here's the deal: I don't want that to happen to any one of my students. I want my students to succeed. So that's why this class is here. This class is what I would like to call partially flipped. I do make a lot of videos for this class, but I generally go over everything in class as well, because the material is strange. It's just a little different than what the kids have done sometimes, even if they've taken AP Chem. It's not an honors or an AP class. I would say the difficulty level is probably pretty close to honors, but I try, since it's not an honors class, I take that into account when I'm grading, and I try to be flexible as much as possible. Grades in that class are mostly tests, and we'll do a lot of projects and some quizzes, and then of course labs. And our goal is to prepare students for organic chem. And then again, tutoring times almost every morning. I email kids if I'm not there. And then of course I've got 2 science lab times on Mastery Mondays as well. And of course email me whenever you need to. Before I wrap this up real quick, I want to go over what is a really important thing that I think parents need to know. And administration and the school as a whole might have told you all about this, but I want to be sure that it's clear, because I do get a lot of questions about this through the year. So there's 2 things that we use a lot to communicate and for grades and assignments at our school. One of them is Canvas. The other one is Aspen. And so Canvas is where students are going to find their assignments. That's where I link all the videos. It's where I check off all their classwork. You'll note that I didn't say grade there because I don't use the grade classwork. I just check it to make sure it's correct. And then it's where assignments are submitted. What Canvas is not Canvas is not the official record of grades. In fact, Canvas is not reflective of grades at all. There may be grades in there, but that's because I use that tool sometimes to grade lab reports and stuff like that, and so I'm marking the rubric as I go. The grade will go there. But the official grades are not in Canvas, and that's why you'll only see a small percentage of their actual grades. You'll see a lot of check marks. So if you're a parent, you want to check and see that your student's doing what they need to do, go ahead and check the gradebook and see that you see check marks, that everything's marked completed, that they watched the videos, that they turned in the homework, that there are no blanks there, meaning that they didn't turn something in. That's perfectly fine, but that is not the average. When it says there's an average there in Canvas, absolutely not reflective of their average. So where do you find their average? That's what's at Aspen or Parent Portal. Parent Portal is what Aspen is. This is where the official grades are. I try really hard to update grades weekly. Most of the time that's on Sundays. Usually I'm grading for 5 to 6 hours on a Sunday afternoon. So hopefully they're in by Sunday night, so you should see those change. If you haven't seen them change in a week or two, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll explain, or maybe I just missed a grade that I forgot to grade something or forgot to put something in for a given class. So just let me know if that happens. Okay. I hope all that stuff helped you guys out. I'm really excited about this year, and I just want to welcome everyone to the world of STEM Chem. Thanks.